My TikTok account grew from 3,000 followers to 40,000 followers in a matter of 10 days. Pretty crazy, right? My name is Ksenia. Welcome back to my TikTok experiment series where I am sharing my personal experience, getting playful and sharing things that have worked in this new platform that feels very different from all the other social media platforms that are currently out there. As someone who has been blogging professionally for many years now and has relied on Instagram to be the core of my business, I am seeing so much opportunity potential for creative self-expression, connection, and impact on TikTok. And here's what I learned from growing my TikTok by 35,000 followers in 10 days. This is not going to be your regular tips and tricks for growing. Yes, for sure, I will be sharing very specific pieces of advice that I've noticed. I'm very analytical and pay attention for strategy. But really the ultimate invitation here is just to listen it through the prism of what applies to you. And instead of copying existing strategies, really get out of the box and get creative and share what feels right for you in your heart, especially if you're a conscious entrepreneur, healer, or creative. All right, so number one, be yourself. On Instagram, content seems to be quite perfect and limited to the box of what we know on Instagram. And TikTok feels like this unexplored territory where people truly show what matters to them, show their personality, and it's this playground to express different parts of you and really an invitation to be unapologetically yourself. The things that I have been sharing on TikTok have been about our move from New York City to a tiny cabin in the forest. I've been sharing some morning rituals that really support my lifestyle. I've been sharing some recipes, some rituals around cacao ceremonies, some videos of my family. I've kind of given up on dancing on TikTok. It's not really my thing, but mostly glimpses into living in nature and feeling connected to earth, and through that feeling connected to yourself. And the video that actually went viral that brought me all these followers so quickly was about our journey from starting to think about buying a tiny home to actually buying one and moving, including a nightmare move. And that video at this point, about a month later, has 842,000 views, 81,000 likes. So that's the video that really drove a lot of these new followers and a lot of engagement on all the other videos on the account. 2 days ago, I had 6,800 followers on TikTok. Now within 24 hours, I got to 14,000, and today I woke up to 18,000.7, and it's going up like crazy. I've never seen my feed blow up like that. And I've been really having so much fun and enjoying creating videos for TikTok. The reason why this happened is because I was myself. Instead of following the trends and things I had already posted on my other platforms, I just started asking myself, what do I actually want to share? What excites me? And that's what it led to. Lesson number 2, series on TikTok do really well. So for example, with the move, I created this video, and in the end, I created a little hook, kind of how you do at the end of any episode of a TV show. And I said, stay tuned for our crazy move. And so then the move was a 2-part post, and each one of those has over 200,000 views. People love series, people love stories, people love being invested and following along on your journey. And I can't tell you how many comments I get saying, please remind me, I'm so invested. And at first I didn't actually know what it means when someone just says, please remind me. And I asked people in my comments, and they said it just means that they're asking for other people, the community, to let them know when a new video in the series is posted. How cute is that? On Instagram, I feel like people don't even comment anymore because it's not cool. All we do is DM and save things. But on TikTok, there's still very much a sense of community, and strangers become a community very quickly based on mutual interests. Lesson number 3. Sometimes you will get mean comments, and it has nothing to do with you. With 95% of all comments saying, this is so inspiring, I love your aesthetic, I love your tiny cabin, I love learning about you and asking me actual questions that give me direction for creating new content, I also get some comments that are not nice at all. And so what I realized early on, it's a very powerful training ground to realize that none of it is personal, and some of these people just have nothing better to do than to leave me in comments. So I send them love. Sometimes I will even respond and say, I wish you all the best, have a wonderful day, to dissipate the anger they might be going through, and I go on with my day. And on the contrary, I do read all the comments I get, and a lot of it, this is a bonus tip, gives me direction on what kind of content to create next. On TikTok, there's this beautiful feature of tapping on a comment that someone left on your post and hitting reply. And the reply can be a video that you create right there on the spot or upload from your camera roll. So this leads me to my next tip. I have made the mistake of editing my whole video on TikTok from the beginning to end, and then I lose my Wi-Fi or my phone crashes and I lose the whole editing job that took me an hour sometimes. I don't make that mistake anymore, and I recommend you don't either. What you can do instead is get the app called InShot and start editing your videos in it. You can do a lot of things that you can't actually do within the TikTok editing, like reducing sound on certain clips when you merge clips together. You can very easily adjust the speed only on certain clips, and it's a lot easier to move it around the timeline to create them in the order you want them to be in. So now I just edit everything in InShot as much as possible, and then I drop it into TikTok when I'm ready to put on my text, my music, and finalize it. So use the app InShot. My next tip is consistency. Because content on TikTok feels a lot more alive than Instagram, a lot more real, and because of that I get so many comments asking me to post daily. People actually come on my account looking for a particular kind of content. I get so many comments. You can only receive messages if you're following each other on TikTok. So that's how it differs from Instagram. On TikTok, I get comments saying, your video calmed me down, your video made my day, your video made me feel a lot better, and I was feeling stressed. I'm not showing up just to be of service to others. I'm also showing up, let's be real, to express my own creativity. But there's some beauty about honoring what people come to your account for and showing up consistently to continue practicing your creativity, but also to stay in touch with your people. Sometimes my videos take me 10 minutes to edit, something more simple, and sometimes they take me an hour or an hour and a half if it's something more long and involves a lot more personal storytelling. In the past 6 weeks, to be specific, that I've been active on TikTok, I have posted at least once a day, every single day. There's only 1 or 2 days I maybe missed, but most of the time it's once a day. In the beginning, a lot of it was twice a day or even 3 times a day. And that consistency, that kind of practice creates a ritual and creates a framework for you to show up, so that when you know that you've got a post today, you're just going to do something even if it's not perfect. And this is a fantastic practice if you're trying to get more productive, more effective, and express more creatively, because my motto is better done than perfect. So if you just embrace that and allow yourself to share what's on your heart right now, even if it's not great, even if it flops, that's totally fine. So if you want to grow on TikTok, post at least once a day. Doesn't matter how long the post is. Something that I have done to help me be more consistent with posting on TikTok is splitting up my TikToks into series. So back to series. I had all of this content of me and my fiance Eric going to grocery shop in Russia to buy ice cream. And it was hilarious because ice cream in Russia comes in all these different weird packaging that you don't see anywhere else in the world. And so what I did, instead of posting one big 1-minute video, I split it into 3 different clips. And I posted them as separate TikToks. Even though I posted them back to back, one of them did particularly better than others. And there's lots of speculations why. We'll get more into speculations and tips towards the end of this, but this is something that you could do. Instead of posting longer videos, just really break them up and post smaller, shorter, bite-sized pieces of content. So this also leads me to the fact that content on TikTok, unlike Instagram, is evergreen. So you may have caught me say that I posted 3 back-to-back posts on TikTok. I would never, as an Instagram consultant, social media strategist, I would never tell anyone on Instagram to post content back to back, because the way that the algorithm works on Instagram is such that once you post a new piece of content, the piece of content before that stops being shown to people. On TikTok, it's not like that at all. A post that you put up 4 weeks ago could end up going viral today. That's just how the algorithms work. You never know what will be picked up when. In that way, TikTok is much more like blog search engine optimization and Pinterest and YouTube, in the sense that it's evergreen and all the work you're putting into creating content might pay off one day. So it's all investment. You're not wasting your time. Tell your parents, tell your partner, you're not wasting your time if you're actually doing with an intention. You're sharing things you care about, things you want to be known for, and things you might even have products and services around. I have a student of mine from the Conscious Social Media program who does Akashic Records, started posting on TikTok and started getting bookings from TikTok with pretty small amount of following, but very targeted following of people actually interested in what she was talking about. So you just never know. If you feel called, you may start mentioning your services and your products as soon as you feel called to. I really waited until I had some footing in the community and I felt like I had given some value before I start asking for something in return and giving people an opportunity to work with me. It's really a personal thing. You will know when you're ready, and it's different for everyone. But all your work is evergreen, and I have seen some posts from 6 weeks ago pick up. Sometimes in the beginning I would post them, they would get only a couple of hundred views, and then a month later all of a sudden I look at it and it's 100,000 views. So you just never know, and let it exist. The only content that I have ever taken down is one that I looked back and realized, you know what, I did this because I thought I wanted to hop on a trend, but it really doesn't represent me or what I want to be known for, so I'm going to take that down. Keep your posts up if you enjoy making them and if you think they represent your work and who you are, because you just don't know when they will get picked up by the algorithm. The algorithm of discovery on TikTok is so strong, and people are constantly being shown new people and new posts based on what they've liked before. That's how the discovery page works. When your post is published, it is shown to about 500 people, and then if those 500 people engage with it by either rewatching it on a loop, by commenting, sharing it, liking it, it's shown to another 500 people, and I might not have the numbers right now, but it's kind of like a snowball. The algorithm kind of decides based on how those small focus group are interacting your content with how many more people to show it to. So that's kind of TikTok algorithm 101 in a glimpse. I think we're on tip number 7 right now, and it is your message is more important than the quality of your content. I'm all for beautiful video content. I'm all for good light. I got this little ring light I have here now because otherwise it would just be too dark. But overall, just let me give you a real example. There was this video that I saw on TikTok that came up in my For You page of this person who is a breathwork teacher and anxiety coach sharing a breathwork technique that gives you energy and makes you feel very alive. So what I did is I created a duet with him where I did the exercise alongside him. And I wasn't sure what I was doing. It was my first duet, and I used this weird filter that just makes my video look really wonky. Despite that video got picked up very quickly. At this point, a couple of weeks later, it has 84,000 views. And that's crazy. It's got almost 9,000 likes. And the thing about it is that when you click the 3 dots on the bottom right, it will take you to analytics, and you can see if you have the pro account, which I highly recommend having so that you can see those backend stats. This video got shared 951 times. I believe this is my most shared video. And the reason why is because it has an actionable tip, a practice that people wanted to share with others. And I think one of the reasons it did so well as well is because I put text on top of it that very clearly says, I replaced my second cup of caffeine with this. And I posted it in the afternoon when a lot of people were thinking about second cup of coffee. So you can always add your own text if you feel like the original video isn't catchy enough in its text. In this case, it wasn't. And just test different types of content. Have fun with it. Experiment. That was your message comes over quality, and I will add something else to it. Make clear what you're going to be talking about in the rest of your TikTok video in the first 3 seconds. This is when people decide whether they're going to watch your video or skip to the next one. So just hint or make it clear, have some sort of a catch to give people a glimpse of what it's all about. Some speculations and tips. Number 1 is I don't know if hashtags actually work that well. If you do a search of anything, for example, if you search cacao ceremony, it will show you both hashtag results and results of posts that have the words cacao ceremony in their captions. So I don't really know. I've used some trending hashtags and those videos didn't really do very well. So I don't have enough data to tell you how well they work. In my experience, just creating great content works a lot better than using the right hashtags. So don't give up on hashtags, but be very specific about what you use. I also use hashtags to become an authority in certain niches. For example, if you search for cabin life cacao ceremony, forest life, my content comes up under all of those hashtags. And I think ultimately over time, that will help the right people find my content and connect with me. So be conscious of what hashtags you use. Tip number 2, this is a speculation I've heard, that when people watch your content on a loop, it really contributes to the algorithm. So try creating content that people would want to loop over. Tip number 3, when I posted the back-to-back videos of ice cream shopping in Russia, 2 of them used music and 1 of them didn't. And what I'm thinking is perhaps using popular music does help your content being discovered and featured. Speculation. I'll continue testing and let you know. At the same time, creating your original sounds, and this is the reason why in one of those videos I kept the original sound with no music, is good because then others might end up using your sound to create their own videos with your sound. Tip number 5, I think, pay attention to trends, but don't become a slave to trends. If you're being called to contribute to a particular kind of topic that's trending, which you can search by going to your search tab and seeing what are the most popular topics and tags and types of content. It's a great place to get ideas and get inspired, but just keep creating things that give you an opportunity to feel good about your message and an opportunity to feel expressed creatively. Tip number 6, okay, this is the last one, but it's very important, so listen up. When you put text on top of your videos, and this is a practice I always recommend doing both on Instagram and on TikTok. Whenever you post video of you talking, put some text on top as well, saying what you're talking, to make it both more accessible to those who can't hear, but also a lot of people might be watching it without sound. So you want to always put your text on top as a caption, or maybe it's an opportunity to go even deeper into what you're saying. When you do use text in this way, make sure that it's not too fast. I can't tell you how many times I've seen awesome TikTok content, but the text just goes so fast that I don't even have an opportunity to read it. And yes, it makes me loop the video so I can actually catch what it says, but it's not the best user experience. So make sure your text is spaced out. At least, make each sound bite, text bite, at least 2 seconds long so people actually have an opportunity to read it. Okay, so these are my TikTok learnings and tips going from 3,000 followers to 40,000 followers. Let me know what spoke to you. Let me know if you are getting on TikTok, if you are implementing these, because if you're not there yet, just get on now and start experimenting. And to remind you, if you're new here, this is a series. I have a first video and a first podcast where I share how I went from 0 followers to 3,000 followers on TikTok. So if you want to catch up on that, go there. And I think I will also put all these tips, because I know it's a lot, but it's really gold. It's really stuff that works. I think I'm going to put it into a pretty PDF sheet. If you want that, head over to wokeandwired.com/TikTok and you can download it there. All right, namaste. Keep expressing your essence and trusting the way, and knowing that those people who are meant to connect with you and be magnetized of your field of work will connect with you in the most easeful and expansive way for all.